Yes, I did. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. Hi, how are you?
Hello, can you hear me well?
Yes, yes, sure. I can
Okay,
hear you very well.
okay,
Good.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm also fine. Thank you, Aidin. So let's wait a few minutes. Just our viewers can join us. So it takes some
Okay,
time.
okay.
How's your mood today?
Well, it's pretty good. We're at home, studying, working from home. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
our lifestyle during the pandemic. What about you?
The same. The same thing. Everything is online.
Yeah,
Working online, studying online. Uh, so where is our viewers? Yes, our first viewers joined us. Good evening, dear friends, Bishkek American Center followers. Hope you're all doing well this time, and thank you very much for joining and watching our session today. So we have today a special topic to be featured, and let me give you a brief background about it. 30 years ago, U.S. government set the standard for disability rights when it enacted the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, and inspired the adoption of disability rights legislation around the world. This act prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities and ensures of equal opportunity to participate fully in society. And last year, in December 2019, US Embassy Bishkek, together with Bailina Library, launched new center Comfort, which means care for inclusive education. And Comfort Center is outfitted with specialized equipment and offers a variety of programming. So today, our guest speaker, Aidin Turganbekov, Flex alumnus, inspired by ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, and started an inclusive project, Basketball for All. First of all, thank you very much, Aidin, for accepting the invitation. We are very happy to have you today and to learn more about inclusivity. Thank you very much. I think now we can start our session. And also, I want to kindly remind our friends, so don't be shy to leave your questions and comments under this video. And after the presentation, I will answer them. So we can start
yeah.
right now.
Yes, thank you, Aida, for invitation. First of all, thank you for the American corners all over Kyrgyzstan. Thank you for the amazing job you've been doing online since the beginning
Thank
of the
you.
quarantine. I think you are doing a lot, and I'm honored today to share about my project, which is called Basketball for All. Um, so let me share the screen and tell about my project.
Mhm.
Я не могу.
Yes. So yes, we can see your presentation, Aydin.
Yeah, so it started like how did it start? It started a while ago when I was during my exchange year in the United States. It was back in the 2017 and 2018, and during our year within our placement organization, which was called World Link, we were invited to make projects, and my idea was. Not to do a project inclusive project basketball for all or something connected to it, but my idea was to help to cancer patients, and vice versa. My friend who was from Ukraine, he implemented a project which was similar to it, actually very similar to it, because I was inspired by his idea of making a project for children with disabilities and um, leading basketball sessions, teaching them some basic lessons and exercises. He was part of the basketball team in the United States. He was also managing the team. And his idea was great, and later he was also appreciated from the World Link, from the organization, for implementing such nice projects like this. Um, I came back from the United States. I was doing different projects, but at the same time, I was all the time thinking to make such impactful project. And it happened in 2020 this year that in January, starting from January, I started thinking about implementing this project with basketball. And at the same time, there was also application for GYZ Global Youth Service Day grant. There was also application from my university, American University of Central Asia, within the program which is called Student Initiatives Development Program, grants for social projects. And I used my opportunity and applied to this grant from AUCA, and like designed the project which is called Basketball for All now. But with the going circumstances in February, sometime at the university, something was not going really well, and then we needed to start the project earlier, not with the funds, like from the scratch, and we did not have grants. We did not have volunteers yet by that time, but in February we decided to start it like from nothing. What did I contacted the rehabilitation centers, which are called Rostok and Santera. Those are two different centers. One is based on children with autism. Second is based on children with Down syndrome. And then this project is unique is that we are not only concentrating on children with certain kind of disabilities, but we decided to um, mix everyone and have everyone the same opportunity. So with 20 children from Rostock and Santera rehabilitation centers, we started the project, and it was only beginning because we did not have, for example, the venue, and then we needed to talk to the AUCA administration, uh, and then with the bureaucracy having at our university, we needed to have a exact plan of what we needed to do like in advance. And since this is a long-lasting project, long-term project, we needed to say the dates, which was quite complicated and at that time because we did not have enough funds. But we went ahead, went forward, and shared the dates, and it was until the end of April. But unfortunately, now it did not happen like this. We started this, and then so we talked to AAC administration. They were very welcoming at this project. They provided us a venue, a sport hall on the third floor. Every Sunday, we were practicing there until the pandemic. Um, what else did we need? We needed balls for every participant, every kid. Uh, like in the game of basketball, you don't need many balls, but since this is a unique project, uh, we needed every children to be with like special tutor and with one ball. For this, we needed 20 and more balls, and then we organized the fundraising. Fundraising was really a good idea, which also kind of spread the word about inclusive world and was very welcomed by the audience too. We were doing the fundraising within AUCA students, within New Generation Academy at AUCA, within Bilim Qana, and just in general in Bishkek. A lot of people actually reached out and they wanted to help with whatever they needed because every sum, every like 5 or 20 sums were important for us. And then we raised money for 20 balls, basketball balls. And as you know, they are not also cheap. Um, Here, I want to also point out that Leaning Sport Merch Company also supported us and provided 6 balls, um, which I'm really grateful for because at the end, like in the beginning of March, we had 20 balls for every children, and every children could fully participate in our practices. At the same time, parents were also welcoming this project because I need to point out also that in Kyrgyzstan, I think there was no project like this, and it is little attention paid to children with disabilities. Um, and as I know, and as these rehabilitation centers told us, they are spending their time doing some other exercises, but to sport, uh, not much have been done. And then they needed this. So this was really a relevant project at the time. Um, After that, parents were agreed to come to AEC every Sunday morning, and then we had practices. But practices had to be not that long because they could not do much of a physical actions like in the beginning, because we need to start from the little and then go more and more. In the beginning, we had pretty much several problems because it was a new project. Nothing has been done like this in Kyrgyzstan, as I know. And then after the first practice, when we had difficulties because our volunteer tutors did not experience in project like this, it was new for them. It was new for us in in logistical aspects. And we had few volunteers tutors who helped us, less than 10. After that, we met with one parent who was living in Almaty in Kazakhstan, and then she shared her experience of how they were practicing and going to practices in Almaty. It was happening every day in Almaty, but because of the venue, because of the availability of volunteers, we could not do it every day or more than once a week. So we were doing it only once a week on Sunday. Generally, we wanted to make it during the normal studying day, to create inclusivity at the university so that everyone accepts and everyone is equal. But AUC is there are a lot of classes usually and other practices behind the academic classes. So the only time we could reserve the hall for was the Sunday morning, and was also good for volunteers. But anyways, we started. We were doing the first practice was really challenging for us because we didn't know. And after that, we met with parent, and then she explained us everything: what kind of exercises we should do, how should we get attention of children, because children were wanted to do everything. They were running around, they wanted to play with ball differently, or they didn't want to do anything because not much of a physical activity they were doing before this. So it was challenging for us. But after this, after we have talked with volunteers, with tutors, and the second practice was very successful because we knew the strategy how we should work with children with disabilities. Um, and also, I want to point out that our volunteers were very dedicated, and the ACA community was very open, and they provided us a hall on the 8th of March. It was the second practice. Usually, ACA doesn't work and this holiday works, and they provided us a hall. So I'm really grateful for this. And the third practice was even better than that. Flex alumni community also supported us with funds for lunch, not lunch, but coffee break after the practices, because children were hungry, wanted to drink, and Flex alumni community was here to support us here. Which I'm grateful for American Councils and Flex alumni in Kyrgyzstan. Later on, after the third practice, the pandemic started. I think starting from 16th of March, AUCA was not working. On 15th of March, we were able to actually lead the practice, even though the university was closed. According to the plan, we did the practice, and it was unfortunately our last practice for this year, I think. But we have future plans because our project was supported by Student Initiatives Development Program and Center for Civic Engagement at the AUCA, and we have funds to continue this project. Hopefully next semester, starting from spring, sometime in March, probably, we will continue the project. We still have volunteers and tutors from AUCA And just in the future perspective, we want to continue this project because it's happening for the first time. And in ideal perspective, I want this project to be continued by Flex alumna, or I mean, I will be continuing this, but in the future perspective, like in 2, 3 years, I want to continue this. So I want some Flex alumni or from students from AUCA continue this. Um, so there are perspective for AUCA students to also continue the existing projects. So maybe this will be the idea to create the inclusive world at ACA, or even more further. This was the practices were also just the first part of our project and the idea of it. The second part was we were planning it for the end of April to invite media, to invite government officials, U.S. embassy officials, American consuls, AUC administration, of course, and to lead like an open practice for all to see how we are doing and what we have done during this 2 months. Of course, we are not able to show like a full basketball game, but anyways, we have like strict schedule of exercises or whatever we needed to do. And we saw from the third actually practice that they are improving, and it is actually helping for them because their children are sitting at home. I mean, they go to rehabilitation centers, but they're not doing this much of a physical activity. And we were seeing at the end of the third practice how grateful the parents were, how children were enjoying this and actually obeying and doing the exercises which were good for them, for their attention, for their physical well-being. And after that um, I think I can stop the screen. After that we had the group with parents, and they were also sending the audio messages or just messages that children are missing the project. They want to go to practice, they want to play basketball. So it was really nice, and we're hoping to continue after this pandemic will end, hopefully, and everyone will be safe. So that's
Great. Thank you very much, Aidin, for your amazing presentation, and it's wonderful project. And good luck with your future plans. And I wanted to ask about continuation of this project, and I'm very happy that this project will be continued. It's going to be continued. And thank you very much for your amazing job and for doing this for people, and to actually to promote inclusivity in Kyrgyzstan. I think it's amazing.
yeah.
And we started to receive questions. So let me ask you some questions. Um, how did you get inspired by ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act?
First of all, I wouldn't really from ADA, but it was as I said, I was inspired by the project of my friend from Ukraine, and his
Mhm.
project was in the United States. Just basically with the life, I think, in the United States, how they promoted the inclusivity and how they're good at it. And I think we really need this. We need to provide equal opportunities for everyone in Kyrgyzstan, not only doing sport projects, but also providing some basic logistical um, opportunities like to get to the bus, or having transportation equal for everyone. um, there are much work to do in Kyrgyzstan, but basically I was inspired by the life and by people in the United States, just the basic treatment. I think like in Kyrgyzstan people are different and treating people differently, not equally, and this is noticeable. And we at the American University of Central Asia and with the Flex alumni community want to create this inclusivity so that people treat each other equally and everyone is actually equal there.
Wow, super. Thank you very much, Aidin, for your answer. The next question for you. How can people become more involved in promotion inclusive education?
Um, I think first of all is the spread of information videos, promotional videos about inclusivity. Like this year has been good for the American Act. What was the ADA? And
Mhm.
we could do something in Kyrgyzstan. I'm not sure if there is something like this, but make a special year or day, and not only do everything on that day as it happens usually, but maybe promoting all year long videos with equality, that everyone is equal. That's the first thing. And the second thing is
Mhm. I did. I did. Do you hear me? I did. I think we. I didn't. Do you hear
oh,
me?
sorry,
We lost you.
we lost the connection. So the second part was creating inclusive atmosphere and projects just like this in Kyrgyzstan, not maybe necessarily just sport projects, but educational projects, maybe reforming the school system so that everyone will be equal. Because as I know, people with disabilities go to special schools in Kyrgyzstan, but in the United States, they have equal opportunities and everyone is able to go to usual schools. Um, and then yeah, just the first steps. I think this could be like informational promotion that everyone is equal, and providing and reforming the
Mhm.
system, educational system, and creating projects like this. Because when I started promoting volunteers, um,
Mhm.
um, recruiting volunteers, there were a lot of people who supported this project and wanted to be in there because, as I said, this is happening for the first time, and also just people want to help.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Amazing. Great. Thank you very much, Aidin. The next question for you. Um, what did change after the project end? I mean, participants, how did they change? Maybe in terms of their attitude, self-confidence.
hmm Um, so because we had only three practices, and it's really hard to change something in children within this only three practices, and they were not actually happening like constantly, like every day or every other day. Um, but we still could see the changes. It was their
Mhm.
attitude towards us. Maybe they were getting used to us because in the beginning they did not know us and they were thinking that
Mhm.
they could not obey to us or like just run around or do something else. And when we changed our schedule and plan and had knew exactly what we needed to do to make a change, they started listening to us. They started doing the exercises. So it was their attitude and also maybe a little bit of consciousness. Yeah.
Mhm.
And what
Wow.
has changed in us, that's probably inclusivity because, as I said in the beginning, the volunteers did not know how to act. And uh, at the end of the second session, already they knew. They were very
Mhm.
close to children. They were not afraid of anything. And just their attitude and, probably something in their mind has changed that everyone is equal to.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Aidin. The next question for you. Thank you, Aidin. If parents and project participants asked you to continue this program, this is the question.
Oh. Yeah, yeah. As I said, they were even when the quarantine started, they wanted to do project outside, but for the
Mm-hmm.
safety for everyone, we did not do this. But it was noticeable. We could notice from parents, from children that they wanted to continue in spite of everything. But safety is on the first place for everyone, and we need
Sure.
children to be safe and healthy. So we will continue definitely this project. Maybe starting from February or March, depending on the situation in the country, and taking all of the precautions that are needed to be safe and healthy. But we will definitely continue with the grant that we have. And then I really want this project to be continuing. Like, I, I see this project with like
Mm-hmm.
within 5 or 10 years that this will go ahead and will create an inclusive atmosphere at least within the small community of AUCA.
Mm, super. I did. Do you keep in touch with kids now?
Yes, we have a group chat in WhatsApp. We text to them. They also parents also send the videos. There was cute video. The parents was asking like, "What do you want to do?" And the kid was saying like, "I want to play basketball." It was really cute.
Yes, it's really cute. Thank you very much, Aidin. The second question: what was the biggest challenge in the implementation of this project?
Mhm. So logistic wise, I think it was not challenging because of the
Mm-hmm.
experience of organizing different projects within the Flex alumni community at ACA too. Um, I think yes, the challenging part was that we didn't know how to work with kids because in
Mm-hmm.
Kyrgyzstan there was nothing like this, and also we did not have experience of working with children with disabilities. But we tried to get better every time. After every practice we were gathering with volunteers, we were gathering with parents. There was also a survey of what we need to do, what we need to put
Mm-hmm.
an accent on, what else do you want. And after that the second practice was much better. So it just working with children was better. And the survey with parents also helped us. They were suggesting different ideas, maybe to work with usual children, um, so that other children learn, or maybe to work without parents. And we decided to work without parents because during the first practice they were sitting there and observing, but in the second practice we said no more parents, so they get the
Mm-hmm.
kids, and then so maybe walk around the ACA or do whatever. But after 1 hour, they need to come back to pick their children. But like within this period, we are working with them, and children actually got used to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Got it. Thank you very much, Aidin. We have the next question for you. Thank you. What is your opinion? What else should be done to raise awareness of disability in Kyrgyzstan and to make society more accessible to all?
Yeah, I've already kind of answered this question that we need to
Mm-hmm.
do promotional videos. I think in this stage, we're not doing much, and not much of a projects, or even though the projects are being done, and I'm sure they are, they're not really spreading the word well. And this is just a logistical part of spreading the word and informing people. And of course in the background of a pandemic or other problems, it is not really seen. But anyways, I
Mm-hmm.
think that they need to, whoever is doing the projects, or some organizations or rehabilitation centers like this, they need to strengthen the media, spread the word, maybe create the videos. And this might be the work for us too, for Flex alumni or for AUC students, to film the videos and create inclusive atmosphere from the changing the minds. I think the first thing is that people need to change minds.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you very much, Aidin. The next question, what did you learn from your project participants?
This is a challenging question. Uh, I think. Oh, first of all, I haven't really done projects. I mean, we've been doing projects with children, but mostly with the youth.
Mm-hmm.
This time it was children. Um, I think I learned how to communicate with children more, and creating this maybe discipline, but also being
Mm-hmm.
at the same time friend. This was a good way for me to develop my communication skills, but with children.
Mm-hmm. Super. Thank you, Aidin. We know that you supported people during the lockdown by singing a song with other USG alumni. Please tell us about this experience.
Mm. This was a great experience indeed. I did not expect that Bureau of Educational Cultural Affairs will email me, but they they did, and they asked me to participate in the sing along project. The song was composed and from the Nigerian alumni who was also
Mm-hmm.
part of the USG program, and I'm not sure about exactly which program, but she was USG alumni also. And then she wrote a song. It was Take Responsibility. It's called Take Responsibility and was addressed to be safe during the pandemic. And everyone, like different alumni from different countries, different years, were participating there. And I was
Mm-hmm.
also honored to be part of this project from Kyrgyzstan. Um, they were looking for people who sing or at least do something with singing, and
Mm-hmm.
I was happy to be part of this project. And as you see from the video, I also involved my nephew there,
Yes.
and he was a great actor there, saying that take responsibility or laughing there. Yeah, it was a great part of the video, I think. And it was just, I think, the great idea to do videos like this, and just a great message: stay safe, stay home, take
Mm-hmm.
responsibility, wash your hands, right? This is all we need now, and just a great idea, which was supported by the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs within the State Department.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I totally agree with you. I did like sending the messages like staying at home and being safe and staying healthy. It's very important. Thank you very much, Hadin. We have one more question for you. Would you like to continue the project when the pandemic ends? I think you already answered for this question. Maybe.
Yeah, we said that we will continue the project after the pandemic, and we are waiting for the pandemic to be ending, and hopefully everything will be fine in Kyrgyzstan. And starting from spring, or even maybe even earlier, but I don't think so. We want to restart the project with the same children, with the same grant, with the same venue. Yeah, maybe in different format.
Mhm. The next question: do you plan to organize this project in other regions?
This is a good question to develop this project. Maybe I will be the one who will be helping and organizing this project, but personally, I cannot be all the time in the regions. But if other, for example, USG alumni or Flex alumni or AEC students or whoever actually wants to make and implement this kind of project, I will be happy to share my experience, schedule plan, how to communicate with children, what else they need, what do they need to like accent on. I'm happy to share my experience or be there first couple
Mhm.
practices, and then after they learn, actually this is really good if this spreads all around the regions, because if it's happening for the first time in Bishkek, then it really needs to be done in the regions to create inclusivity.
Mhm. Yes, it's great, great initiative to be developed further. Yes, it would be amazing if this project will start in our regions. Thank you very much. Aidin, this was our last question. And on behalf of our viewers, I want to say thank you very much. We were really happy to have you, and it was really informative and very interesting session to talk about inclusivity. And we learned so many things from you. And I hope that our viewers also learned more about inclusivity. Thank you very much, and also thank you, dear viewers, for your questions and comments. You're always active, and we're really happy that you always ask questions and interested in our sessions. So it's time to say goodbye, and
Yeah,
please.
on my behalf, I wanted to thank you, American Corners in Kyrgyzstan, and I think the supporters of my project, it's Flex Alumni in Kyrgyzstan, American Consuls, American University of Central Asia, basketball team at AUCA,
Mhm.
especially Flex Alumni at AUCA, Bilim Kana, NGA, and others. Thank you for supporting this project, and hopefully we will continue this at the end of, after the pandemic. Thank you.
Mhm. Great, I did. Good luck with your project. And see you next time, dear friends.
Yes.
Please be safe, be kind, and see you in our next sessions. Bye bye. Have a
Bye.
great evening.